Alejandra Guzman is working for you.
She explains what this approval really means and the impact it could have going forward. Ale?
Robert, Simone, this is the very first vaccine to be fully approved. Pfizer filed a 360,000-page application, and it had to submit plenty of evidence for the FDA to judge the shot's safety, a fact that's very clear tonight. Engineers say water vapor is all around us. You probably have seen it too. Take, for example, the condensation around this water bottle. It's this moisture that researchers want to capture and turn into a resource that you can use daily. I can tell you the scene is clearing up here right now, but about that driver, well, he is a 49-year-old man and he is in custody. He will face federal charges for this attempted smuggling. It's been devastating to see people's homes collapse in this fire. The protests here tonight in San Antonio were very peaceful. Nobody has been arrested, but there are protests across the state, across the nation that are being violent. What message would you share? I can tell you Maria's friends, family, and some community members were praying outside her window at 7:30, a time when usually they would be gathered around the table having dinner together. They're going to be praying for her again at 10:45 if you would like to join. But as they wait and see if they're going to be allowed in, Christus Health sent us this visitor guideline chart. It says at the end of life, 2 people are allowed inside the room at any given time. I want to show you these cinder blocks that are holding up her dream home. She fears that as we continue to see these heavy downpours throughout the night and the rest of the week, all of her belongings, all of those precious memories will collapse. How soon could we possibly see children?
I think if something
Out of the 110-mile stretch of the Rio Grande River that sits on Valverde County, 70% of migrants can swim, at times even walk across here. While the governor didn't say where the wall would be built or how long it would be, this right here is part of the border wall built under the Trump administration. It was supposed to run 2 miles. That's it. But construction stopped January 21st. Just last week, the Biden administration said it would cost you, the taxpayer, $46 million per mile for it to be built in areas like here in Del Rio.
Do you believe that the Biden-Harris administration has failed Maverick County?
I feel like they are not really getting the right information.
You can see right now the donor pavilion is completely empty. This is what it translates to: empty shelves. I want to show you exactly some of the items people have left behind. We have cell phones to IDs and even these flight tickets that say people have gone from Venezuela to Monterrey before they actually set foot here on U.S. soil and claim political asylum. As the number of hospital beds continues to be a growing issue, the message remains: mask up for your safety and the safety of others. We're told 295 nurses arrived yesterday and they quickly got to work to help alleviate our local health systems, and 315 more are still on the way. Electricity prices that are fluctuating all night. Starting at 6 p.m., they started around $200, and later on they jumped up to $2,000. Right now you can actually see that they're just down to $40 per megawatt hour. So if the governor does intend to use taxpayer dollars to resume building, does he have to call a special session to get approval to use those funds?
That's a good question. I believe that.
Again, this investigation is far from over. At least one emergency vehicle will remain here in the parking lot, is what we're told, just in case any of these immigrants, people that are out there in this brushy terrain, well, they need help and they come and seek it here.
This is a pivotal moment for our country in the fight against the pandemic.
The FDA has approved Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, something many of you were waiting on before rolling up your sleeves.
The public can be confident that this vaccine meets the FDA's gold standards for safety, effectiveness, and manufacturing quality.
Well, I think it's another positive step for hopefully convincing individuals that we have obtained sufficient amounts of data for the FDA to fully approve the vaccine.
But has it? We took a stroll through the park to find out.
I think he's going to take away one of the excuses that people present for not getting vaccinated.
Today's decision was like a breath of fresh air for Alexander Aboka. He sees these shots as a life or death treatment.
If it prevents you from getting the disease, you can potentially, not deal with the consequences of, long COVID, memory losses.
Right now, Pfizer's shot against the virus has only received the FDA's seal of approval for those 16 and older, but some are still not convinced.
I'm a believer of immunity.
Some nurses on the television have been not wanting to get the shots.
Heidi says she'd rather boost her and her daughter Lily's immune systems by going out, getting fresh air, sunshine, and proper nutrition.
So hearing that the FDA approved Pfizer shot is not going to encourage you or push you or in any way motivate you to get the vaccine?
My personal opinion is just to go with building up my immune system.
Today's move could mean more companies will require workers to get the vaccine. Will University Health be requiring healthcare workers to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
Executive order that the governor had placed restricting governmental entities from requiring the vaccine was specifically for the COVID vaccine under an emergency use authorization and not specifically under FDA approval. So that certainly gives us an opportunity to consider that.
Tonight, Mayor Nierenberg, Judge Wolf, Metro Health, and University Health all encouraging you to get the shot because it also protects you against the COVID-19 Delta variant. Now, another big issue tonight is the rehab doctors telling me that right now there's a 3-month wait to treat long-haul COVID patients. They're still dealing with the patients that we saw during the last surge. This stretch along the Rio Grande, now known to be the easiest illegal crossing.
Welcome to the U.S.
This is a message welcoming immigrants.
And kneel down and say a prayer.
Out of the 110-mile stretch of the Rio Grande River that sits on Valverde County, 70% of migrants can swim, at times even walk across here, what's known as borderlands property.
So all this little area right here basically will be exposed when the water is low. So it makes it very easy to cross.
You can see entire families walking across, fathers carrying their little ones on their shoulder, the water barely reaching their ankles, and within minutes, they're in the U.S. Word of the safe passage has spread. Immigrants are crossing by the dozens.
I can't blame them for a mother to drag her 5-year-old son across the Rio Grande, saying that she would prefer to drown in the river than stay in her home country.
Our cameras caught several people walking along the river in Ciudad Acuña, but they didn't cross while we were watching.
You don't really see the gravity of the situation unless you're actually here in Del Rio.
Sheriff Joe Martinez says his deputies assisted Border Patrol agents in 112 incidents involving immigrants this past January, all compared to 20 in January of last year.
Through this area, the other day we handled, I want to say it was 54. That's been probably our largest number through here. They just kept coming and coming and coming.
And I want to show you exactly some of the items people have left behind. We have cell phones to IDs and even these flight tickets that say people have gone from Venezuela to Monterrey before they actually set foot here on U.S. soil and claim political asylum. We spoke with long-term residents of Del Rio who say the immigration crisis isn't anything new, but it's more dangerous than ever.
It's a border issue. It's always been there. The system has always been flawed. Right now, it's just breaking at the seams.
I know they're trying to better their lives, but maybe do it the right way.
Alejandra Guzman, Fox News at 9. Raiden Gonzalez laughs and plays with his favorite toys. But at his young age, the 4-year-old has already dealt with 2 great losses.
How much do you love your mom and dad? 100 seconds with 1.
His mom and dad lost their battle to COVID-19 within 100 days from each other.
Raiden being left behind, you know, it's very hard.
His father Adan was exposed to the virus while at work, according to his family. He tested positive June 3rd and was hospitalized June 9th.
They did say he was one of 2 of the sickest in the hospital.
He passed June 26th after spending nearly a month in the ICU. Days and months go by. Mariah was mourning but was healthy until October 5th.
She went via ambulance Monday evening, probably around 9:30. And by 8:14 a.m. on Tuesday, she was gone.
Their loss forever impacting their 4-year-old son.
Says he wants to talk like him. He wants to be like him.
Raiden's aunt says his mother's death has been harder on him.
A couple of days ago, he said he wishes he could bring her back.
but his birthday is right around the corner.
22nd.
This is a milestone birthday. He's been very upset because, his mom and dad are not here to celebrate with him.
The family hopes to lift his spirits with the drive-through Roar and Wave Parade, lining up one of his favorites.
He loves fire trucks.
As Raiden and his family mourn their loss, they hope our community will do their part to slow the spread.
We've lost 2 people now to COVID-19, and I can't emphasize enough the severity, the seriousness, and the hurt that this pandemic can cause. So wear your mask, be safe. I mean, we can't stress that enough.
Alejandra Guzman, News 4 San Antonio.